San Antonio FC returns to Toyota Field for their final two home matches this week. Alan Marcinez' club needs 1 point to clinch their second playoff berth in club history. Austin Bold FC is 1 point below the playoff line. It's week 13 of the USL Championship and the I-35 rivalry here tonight on Fox Sports Southwest. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome upstairs to the broadcast booth. The coach, Tim Hankinson. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us. Well, San Antonio FC coming off their first defeat of the season the other night in El Paso, Coach. And as we look at the highlights, it was a battle as SAFC stepping out of the group against one of the top teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah, a completely different team that we faced. We've gotten so used to playing teams within our own division that this was a different experience for them, but a very valuable experience because El Paso clearly could be part of the path in the playoffs.
As you mentioned, could be a first-round playoff preview. Luis Saliniak scores for the 5th consecutive game, but that was all the offense that SAFC could muster. And then this late penalty against Mitchell Tainer setting up the set piece, and the own goal in stoppage time is the winner there as El Paso Locomotive hands San Antonio FC their first defeat of the season. So, Coach, SAFC now back at home. They taste a little bit of adversity. How do they play off that tonight?
Don't get lost in the loss. Just refocus, make your corrections. Don't play the blame game. Keep the confidence and the spirit high. They've had a great season so far. Don't blame it on a setback. Focus on tonight's game plan and then reach down deep to bring a competitive fight that is beyond what you've done to reverse the direction and get back in the win column.
Let's take a look at the Group D table. And as mentioned, San Antonio FC needs just 1 point to clinch not only a playoff berth, but also to win the group. But Austin Bold FC is 1 point below FC Tulsa for that second playoff spot, and they have a game in hand. So it's a monumental task for the visitors tonight coming down I-35, and it should be a good battle. Austin is the only team that San Antonio has not defeated here at home this year.
Yeah, and Austin is a good team. They have quality players, a lot of experience, and like you say, they have more on the line tonight than even SAFC, even though we're fighting for that final, the push for the playoffs. So we'll watch Austin, see if they learned anything from the El Paso game that they can use against SAFC tonight. So it's an interesting matchup.
Well, San Antonio FC and Austin Bold FC have plenty of connections. In fact, former teammates Matt Cardoni and Diego Restrepo have, of course, played together through the years, you see right there. But, of course, Billy Forbes, Sonny Guadarrama, some of the familiar faces on this Austin side. We'll have starting 11 and kick when we return after this. San Antonio FC Soccer on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. The penultimate home match of the season for San Antonio FC as they welcome in Austin Bold FC. And a look at the starting 11 for Austin. Mention the familiar names, the two up top, Sonny Guadarrama, Billy Forbes, the latter Forbes, third all-time in SAFC history, 13 goals over 54 matches, and anchored by Diego Restrepo in the net. For San Antonio FC tonight, a little bit of a different look. Jordan Perruzza, who made his SAFC debut Saturday night in El Paso, will get the start tonight up top with Christian Pirano and Luis Solignac, and Matt Cardoni makes his 7th consecutive start. In the net for Alan Marcina's club, which comes in tonight with a record of 8-1-3, 5-0-1 here at Toyota Field. And there is the 19-year-old Jordan Perruzza, who will get his first start. And there's our center referee, Elton Garcia, working alongside Jeremy Weed, Ricardo Ocampo, and Hector Hernandez is the 4th official. San Antonio FC in their home black kits with checkered red and white. Austin Bold FC in their home white kits trimmed in black. And we are underway. Pizza Hut with our opening kickoff tonight. Temperature of 83 degrees. A little bit of a steamy evening at Toyota Field with some rain earlier today. But we should play this match rain-free this evening. Not much of a breeze either. As you look at the flags, Tim, they are almost stationary right now, so that humidity could certainly build upon as we go later in the match.
It could, but these players at this point in the season, they've been through the worst of heat in Texas you can imagine, and they're fit and ready to go.
This is the 3rd of 4 meetings this season between the two I-35 rivals. San Antonio FC getting their first opportunity in the final third. Solignac behind, and Solignac once again with a goal now in 6 consecutive matches on the setup by Pirano, and all he does is score goals in the first minute, Tim.
It's insane. I mean, this has become a game-by-game thing, scoring in the first 30 seconds. Incredible. He took it so well that I'll tell you, the final pass that was slipped through to lead him through the channel in behind the defense was just brilliant.
Christian Pirano, Luis Solignac, his 8th. And once again in the opening minute, San Antonio FC off and running with a 1-0 advantage. Good to be back at home. And it has become the common theme of the season. 5 of San Antonio FC's 10 fastest goals have come this season.
Well, and we talked in the pregame about, what is going to be the reaction after the first loss of the season, and we just saw it. They are ready and focused, and I think we'll see more goals tonight.
Solignac checked in with 7 goals. He was tied for 7th in the championship coming into play tonight, getting his 8th of the year. As you see now, Pirano is down and clutching that left ankle there. Pirano picking up the assist, his 4th of the season. He came into tonight tied for 14th in the championship with 3 assists.
Well, and he and Solignac and Gallegos, these are the guys who have the most chances created for their team. And it doesn't mean that it always leads to the assist. It did in that case. But these are the go-to guys. Get them the ball and let them create the chances.
So Pirano getting a little bit of attention there, and he's back up to his feet. The 21-year-old hobbling a little bit there after coming away with the beautiful through pass to Luis Solignac, who finishes it over Diego Restrepo into the back of the net. Solignac now 8 goals in 13 matches with San Antonio FC, as he is, what's amazing to me, he's closing in right now on Ever Guzman, who had 11, but did it over 34 games.
Right, right.
You've got, Solignac's got 8 in 13 games here.
Yeah, his goal ratio for shots is just incredible. And it's just amazing, just that first opportunity and his ability to put the ball away, find that side of the open net is just brilliant.
Jose Gallegos back in the starting 11 tonight for Alan Marcina. It's a monumental night, Tim, for SAFC. They have 6 players in their 18 that are either, as another through ball, as Pirano was hoping to get on the end of it, but the flag is up in the offside situation. But I was about to say, SAFC has 6 players in their 18 tonight that are either from San Antonio or are part of the academy And that, of course, would be your San Antonio natives, Matt Cardone, Jose Gallegos, Leo Torres, and Blake Smith. Smith, of course, from Bernie. And then the academy players, Josh Ramsey and Fabrizio Bernal.
Well, you know, that's how they've built this club, is to develop the youth and take advantage of the deep player pool in the state of Texas. So it's great they're taking that route. You don't see every club do that. Some just go out and buy from all over the world and all over the country. And to have that nucleus of Texas players, and especially the ones that come out of the academy, that's so rewarding to see.
Blake Smith will take the throw. SAFC earning a 4-2 win at Austin in the first meeting between these clubs back on August 1st. And then 2 weeks later, on the 15th of August here at Toyota Field, Austin scored for the first time against SAFC, the first time that SAFC had conceded first in a match, when Javi Baez scored in the 38th minute. But at the death, in stoppage time, Jose Gallegos leveling it with the equalizer as the clubs played to a 1-1 draw.
And I think what you'll see is the wing backs for Austin push up very high, with Jome on one side and the Jamaican McFarland on the other. And what that does is it leaves the two center backs without cover on either side of them. So the counterattack through the midfield, like we saw in that last play that led to the goal, they're very susceptible to. Having said that, when your wing backs push up, it means your wing midfielders can push in and create a numerical advantage. And they've not taken advantage of that yet, but I think we'll see more and more of that as the night goes on.
No PC tonight in the starting 11, coach, for San Antonio FC. And he, of course, sitting right now on 7 yellow cards, which means he is 1 away from a 1-game automatic suspension, which you'd like to think that if he does hit that suspension, they'd like him to hit it before we get to the playoffs.
Yeah, he'll hit it. I have no doubt about that. And it just isn't going to be tonight. And I really believe it's an intelligent move by the coaching staff to manage PC. He's taken a lot of hits this year. He's played a lot of hard minutes in that center midfield. And a lot of the time he doesn't have that side-by-side partner because they're playing attacking players in front of him. So he's been a workhorse in there, and getting a game where he can kind of get his legs back from under him, knowing final games, final push, and into the playoffs, you want him fresh and ready to go.
Gallegos run off the ball by Emma Tomasi, who came back for it. And there goes Austin. Former SAFC midfielder Sonny Guadarrama out of the right flank getting forward. And his pass goes awry as it was intended over there for Cian McFarland, who was coming up from his wing-back spot there along the touchline.
He's made an impact getting on the field for Austin. This is his 4th game, and he's already got 2 goals. And we haven't seen the rest of what's going to happen tonight. But, you know, that's a great contribution to get back in the lineup and start producing.
Guadarrama, who had 2 assists in 17 matches with SAFC back in the 2018 campaign. The native of Austin, his 2nd year with his hometown club.
But it's really, you know, the other former SAFC player, Billy Forbes, he's the dangerous one. He doesn't check back for the ball very much, doesn't look to make very much. He's a breakaway player. He's always going to be testing the SAFC back line, trying to get the break. And you need a guy like Baez, the Mexican player in the midfield, number 8, who is really the guy who creates most of their chances, to feed him. So him getting on the ball, getting his head up, can be very dangerous to SAFC's back line.
Here's Javi Baez in the midfield. Billy Forbes starting out on the left flank, but as we often saw many times in San Antonio, the second half he'll find his way over to the right side of the field too, so he can play both wings pretty dangerously there up top in the number 9 spot.
Well, I have an expression, Dan, his victory lies in the space behind the defenders, and that's how Billy plays. You know, he's always looking to break into that space.
6 goals in 11 matches for Forbes, giving him 22 in his 89-game USL career. And a nice addition for Austin Bold. Here's Tomasi trying to settle it at the top of the box, and cleared out of harm's way there by Josh Yarrow, who's wearing the armband tonight as the captain.
Yarrow's had a great season.
PC, going back to him sitting tonight, he had played all but 6 minutes of the season. That leaves Mitchell Tainer as the only SAFC player who continues to play every minute so far of this restart.
Well, and I know it's unfortunate when you have an own goal. Every defender is going to have that at a point in his career. As I always tell a player like that, after that happens, the good thing is you got it out of the way. And you don't have to face that again, so play with confidence and keep attacking those opportunities to get clearance, particularly at the end of the game when a lot is being thrown in the box.
You see Gorski with his 10th start of the season here tonight. Has really become, for most part, the anchor of that three-back center back or three-back line for Alan Marcina. But Gorski having to push forward now into the midfield tonight. He did it last week in the absence, or Saturday rather, in the absence of Zachary Harivo. And without either Harivo or PC tonight in the midfield, Hunter Gorski's going to play in the number 6 spot tonight for Coach Marcina.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter is a player that likes to have things in front of him, which is what you naturally have as a center back, and the distribution and the collection of the ball out of a three-back system is fairly simplified because you're not under a lot of pressure. You have a lot of space to play. But playing in the number 6 spot, you're going to collect the ball from your defenders with your back to the opponent, and that's not as comfortable for players like that. I mean, PC has done a wonderful job at that. He's transitioned into that position change from a left back into that holding midfielder spot. But I think that Gorski, it's going to take a little bit more time for him to find that comfort of checking back for a ball, getting it off those defenders, and being a part of the possession game.
Seliniak trying to shake off Fabian Garcia as he drops it off. Blake Smith cross into the box, defended back out. San McFarland will settle, and Austin Bold FC will go to work. They have not played since last Tuesday, a 2-2 draw against Tulsa. Their match Saturday night down at HEB Stadium against RGV FC was postponed because of COVID issues.
It should be to their advantage. I mean, they're fresh against the tired SAFC group.
Saw Marcelo Serrano there on the bench in his second year. Overall record of 16 wins, 14 defeats, 15 draws at the helm of this Austin Bold club, who finished 8th in the Western Conference a year ago in their inaugural season, and right now sitting 1 point below the playoff line behind FC Tulsa. They come into tonight's match unbeaten in their last 8. 2 wins and 6 draws. Included in that was that 1-1 draw here on August 15th against SAFC. So they've played some very good soccer here as of late. Pirano, 3 collapse on him. Perusa in an offside position, accepting the pass as he chips it over Diego Restrepo and in.
Yeah, Dan, you look at that run. It was a little bit early. He could have squared it up and run across the line and then in, looking for the pass. But I don't mind players or a team that shows some offside calls by the end of the night, because without it, if you see a team that's never been offside, it means for me either they're perfect in the timing of their runs, or they just aren't testing that line. And so to see the young player, in his first start, starting to test that line is going to get those defenders for Austin kind of thinking twice about, should I track him? Should I hold a line? Should I step up? And when you have to force defenders to make those kind of decisions, some of them are right, but you're looking for the wrong decision where you finally break in and get that goal in behind the defense.
Jordan Perusa, native of Toronto, 17 goals in 29 matches over 2+ seasons. His second match with SAFC on loan from Toronto FC, where his first team contract with the Major League Soccer club will begin on January 1st of 2021. By the way, a nifty piece of defensive play just a moment ago from Jose Gallegos, stripping Billy Forbes of the ball in the final third of the SAFC field. Pirano, the tackle coming for the ball. Beto Avila back up with it along with Billy Forbes, and an errant pass back through the middle of the park taken away by Perusa.
That's great counter pressing on the side of the field there. You saw all 3 players for San Antonio put the Austin player under pressure, win the ball, switch it, and now regain and reset your possession.
Smith, Seliniak with a run here, and Garcia getting in tight right there on Luis Seliniak. A good touch to Jose Gallegos as it bounces back to Seliniak, left to Blake Smith. And now an opportunity. Gallegos gives it a go, and a good save. Moving to his right by the veteran Diego Restrepo.
The movement of the ball that we just saw is more, of what we expect out of San Antonio. Moving the ball quickly, combinations, quick switch, and create a shooting chance. It was well done.
Gallegos, 1 goal, 2 assists in his 12 matches with SAFC this year. Tied for second of the club, 16 chances created. And the 18-year-old continues to get better and better as this 2020 campaign has gone along, and certainly has opened the eyes of the national program as well.
Yeah, he's an outstanding talent. Plays with great confidence for his age. And again, think about who you're playing against at his age. I mean, you're playing against guys who have 150 games in Major League in some cases, and other leagues around the world. And he's holding his own for sure, making his mark.
McFarland, and a good job coming over there by Blake Smith to work it away.
Yeah, you'll definitely see, again, the wing backs attacking. They love that with this team, with Joam on the other side. And I think Kai Green for San Antonio playing on the right side is a good matchup athletically against Joam. So that'll keep that one in check. It'll be probably McFarland that we see attack a little bit more often on the right side.
Austin Bold FC, 22 goals coming into tonight's match, is their 6th overall in attack. SAFC with their 25th goal to open things here in the opening minute. And again, it's just a good reminder. Don't join SAFC matches very late because you're likely to miss something. SAFC scoring their 6th goal in the opening quarter hour this season. They've outscored the opposition. It's amazing. They've outscored the opposition 11-1 in the first 30 minutes of the season this year.
Well, the team has grown in its attacking ways and confidence, and spreading the goals around makes it so dangerous because you have a balanced attack. You never know where it's going to come from next. But this team has really gotten where they are, for me, is on their defense. What is it? Still 6 clean sheets, very stingy, giving up very few goals. And if you look in the USL Championship, the total standings, you've got Pittsburgh at the top. And, kudos to Bob Lilly, the coach up there in Pittsburgh. His reputation has always been as the best defensive coach in the league. And that's what gets him in the win column and gets him always into the playoffs. And so I think the formula we're using of let's be great defensively and keep building our attacks into exciting moments and great goals is going to take us a long way.
And no surprise, the Riverhounds are the best defensive team coming into Week 13. SAFC sitting 3rd in team defense, conceding just 9 times this year. And again, as they build the lead in the opening minute tonight, it's amazing to think, even in the defeat against El Paso, they only trailed in that match for 7 minutes when you consider the 5 minutes between the penalty goals and then the last couple of minutes of stoppage time. So you add that to the 53 minutes that they trailed against Austin Bold FC back on August 15th. Just 61 minutes of total time that they've trailed throughout the course of this season.
Right. That's a great record. You and I, Dan, had talked about what happened in El Paso, and I think for the fans to have our insights I'd like to share is that I felt that the possession game for San Antonio that we've kind of built a strong reputation around was lacking that night. And if you look statistically, as we in the first 11 games have had a possession percentage of 51%, so better than half. But that particular night we were down to 39%, which means we didn't have anywhere near the majority of the play. And that's kind of evident because all of our the number of passes that we make on average is 380 in a 90-minute game, whereas in that particular game against El Paso, we were down to 265, and that's a major difference. So the question becomes, was it just an off night for us, or was it something that El Paso did to disrupt us in their game plan?
And you could argue it might have been a little bit of both in that situation. SAFC playing perhaps maybe their stiffest competition since coming back. Certainly looked that way with El Paso, but at the same time, give some credit as well to El Paso for the way they prepared for the match and certainly took away what SAFC likes to do, which is be aggressive on both sides of the ball. And throughout the match, just felt that they could not execute that strategy against Mark Lowry's club.
Yeah, I know their midfield was a 4-4-2, but the midfield was shaped in a diamond, which really starts to take away the center of the park. So guys like Pirano and PC didn't necessarily have the amount of room to operate that they normally do.
Peruzza off the woodwork. Clean look for Jordan Peruzza after he weaved his way to the corner of the box. Diego Restrepo didn't flinch. There was nothing he could do, just hope that that ball didn't find its way into the back of the net. Peruzza, the shooter's touch right here as he bangs one off the woodwork.
I love for a young player his composure to get his head up, take that breath, and look for that far post, to bend it in rather than just trying to hammer it. It's a sign of a guy who's got great composure as a striker to be a goal scorer.
Beto Avila concedes possession. And Kai Green will send it forward as Green making just his second start of the season. 6th overall match. McFarland. So through the wickets there of Blake Smith, and Tomasi back of the ball. Return to Javi Baez over the top. Heavy touch there by McFarland, and it goes in hard on Hunter Gorski. And it'll be a throw for Austin. Gorski looking back up. He's looking to see if Elton Garcia was going to whistle foul. He did not.
I expected a call on this one, but there was no contact, so a good call by the referee.
Meanwhile, Tomasi to the corner, and a little bit too much underneath that delivery as it sails over Matt Cardone's net. Matt Cardone now 5-1-1 on the season. As we mentioned, making his 7th consecutive start tonight. And you've got basically all of SAFC's wins in their history between these two keepers tonight. Cardone with 32 of them, and Restrepo on the other side, 22 of them. That's 54 of the 61 total wins that SAFC have in their history.
Great statistic. And, you know, for these guys who are now playing for the opposition that played in this stadium and won battles and have great memories here, coming back and playing in Toyota Park is against your old club is always a special game. So I know they're enjoying it.
Guadarrama. An errant ball behind Ishjome getting forward. Billy Forbes will come back to play it. He's watched there by Connor Maloney. And Forbes down to the ground, no call. And SAFC will take over. And Connor Maloney will certainly have his hands full over there on the far flank with Billy Forbes tonight.
Yeah, it's like double trouble over there. When Jome comes, who's a tremendous athlete, comes forward and starts joining Billy, that's a lot to deal with. And part of your preparation for that is determining where do we give our guys help from. Does a center midfielder come over? Does one of the other backs come over? So the guys are not left in pure one-on-one situations, but we can start to double up and contain that speed.
Kai Green over there as well, who of course played with Billy Forbes last year on the club, so certainly familiar with Billy's moves from their days playing together and practicing together. So many trainings. As here's Tomasi, going to weave his way there through Mitchell Tainer. Guadarrama trying to return it back to Ima Tomasi, and well run down by Tainer. As he gets rid of it, but right to Javi Baez. And in an offside position is Ima Tomasi as the flag goes up on him. Through 23 minutes at Toyota Field with the coach Tim Hankinson, our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us tonight on Fox Sports Southwest. The I-35 rivalry, this battle between Austin and San Antonio, the 5th all-time match in USL play. SAFC, 2 wins against 1 loss and 1 draw against Bold. Bold also had a victory against SAFC in last year's 4th round of the Open Cup Championship, too.
Well, it won't be the last time we see them. We have one more game against them coming up.
We do. The final game of the regular season comes up on Saturday night, October 3rd. Nifty play there from Josh Yarrow, maneuvering away from Ishjome. the fans who are in attendance tonight applauding the efforts from Yaro. Second game for SAFC, having limited 25% capacity in the building here at Toyota Field. Guadarrama as he turns back upfield with Baez. Akugo. Plenty of running room here as former MLS midfielder looking for Jome. Maloney directed out in the first corner of the match, or is it off Jome? They're going to say it's off Jome, so hold off on the first corner.
I'm liking this Peruzza more and more. When Yaro had come out with that nifty move to play the ball out of the box, he was already breaking into space, Peruzza. And a second later, when the ball didn't get played through, he comes from a deep position and starts checking into the space to offer feet to help with the possession. So his activity, very difficult for defenders to keep an eye on.
Gorski. Seleniak will get on the end of this just before it rides out. As Jermaine Taylor will return to Restrepo. Gorski playing it out wide. Connor Maloney. Deep cross to the back post that will sail out of play. Connor Maloney, 25-year-old, has started all 12 of the matches that he's played out of the right flank. And there's a look at some of the supporters tonight in the Bud Light bunker.
Yeah, Maloney's one of those that you're not going to see show up on the statistics sheet. He's not a guy who's really going to get crosses in for assists. But the things he does from a work ethic standpoint defensively, it gives other players a chance to be freer, to commit higher into the attack. So he makes a great, quiet contribution that's very valuable.
Too heavy of a touch that time from the youngster Peruzza. Guadarrama on the counter, and an errant ball, though, behind Billy Forbes. And so far, not the sharpest performance, Coach, from Austin here through the first 25 minutes tonight.
A lot of giveaways, and we need to be able to take advantage of that. Being able to pick off a pass and then move the ball quickly in transition, catch their wing backs too high, and break them down from there.
SAFC already one on the board. Nearly had another when Peruzza hit the woodwork about 10 minutes ago.
And this is, again, where their possession, our back three have the freedom. But when you have Gorski come back like he did just a second ago, they played to his feet and he played it right back, which means you're going from back to midfield to back rather than back to midfield or to striker. So that's something PC does so well. He's going to be receiving a ball and he's going to turn with his first touch the play upfield to get the possession going forward.
SAFC now outscoring their opponents 13-3 in their 7 matches here at Toyota Field, and only 2 of the matches they've conceded a goal of any kind. One of those against Austin in the 1-1 draw, and then the 2 against RGV in their last home match. But that's been it. Very tough defensively here at home.
Those statistics make a great case for get home field advantage.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. And they come into tonight, we'll take a look at it, I'm sure, at some point later on. 1 point up for the outright lead in the Western Conference over Phoenix Rising with the foul on Billy Forbes there against Hunter Gorski. But SAFC 27 points, followed by Phoenix, who's got 26. Reno's got 25. So that loss didn't really hurt them too much in the overall scheme of things in terms of trying to gain home field advantage throughout the potential run in the Western Conference. Reno had a 1-1 draw, or a 3-3 draw rather, with Sacramento Republic that night, so that certainly helped SAFC's case. Seleniak was onside, couldn't bring down the delivery from Connor Maloney.
Yeah, the home field advantage is important because, you don't want to be going to Pittsburgh in October. So I'm sure that's been pounded in the players' heads, though. They're fully aware.
Baez. Tomasi And Baez really directs things very well in the midfield. Over the top, Cardoni will come out to meet McFarland.
You know, both teams, San Antonio particularly, have been playing this ball over the top, trying to get a break. And, you know, for the defenders of Austin or for San Antonio, the decision to either track that player and stay with him or to hold your line and let him run offside is really based on, is there pressure on the ball in the midfield? If there's pressure on the ball, then that midfielder is not going to get a great pass off. He may not even see the run take place. But if he doesn't have pressure on him and he's got time to get his head up and pick that runner out, then you've got to track him. And that's not just one defender, it's all defenders.
McFarland with a cross. Baez settles. Tomasi back to Javi Baez. Austin with a good build up here. McFarland whips one. That's defended out by Mitchell Taintor. As we'll hit our hydration break here at the 30-minute mark. And if you just joined us, well, again, SAFC getting off on their front foot in the opening minute. Terrific through ball from Christian Pirano finds Luis Solignac, and he scores for the 6th consecutive match.
I love the channel pass here. He doesn't try to play it in the channel directly to Solignac. He plays it in the channel next to it, which is very hard for a center back. He sees the runner with one eye and watching the ball with the other, but hard to make that connection when they come from different angles like that. Very well played.
So Solignac now with 8 goals, ties him with Frank Lopez and Ever Guzman, who both had 8 a year ago. Then you see Ever, who had 11 2 seasons ago in a 34-game campaign, and Billy Forbes, who scored 10 times in 32 matches back in 2017. I don't know if Solignac's going to catch Ever for the most goals in the season. He's going to be obviously at a tremendous disadvantage, not having not even half the matches available to him. Certainly if it was a regular 34-match season, he would probably own that title. But this player who missed all of last year and really almost 18 months of soccer because of double hip surgery, we weren't sure what kind of player he was going to be coming back this season. But he certainly, I think, has defied a lot of expectations, had a proven track record, but you never know with a player like that coming back from such significant injuries.
Yeah, and I think if we look back at the start of the season, his start was slow. He wasn't off to the races. You didn't see the freedom of movement and running in behind defenses. He was playing pretty much as a post-up, kind of flick-on target type guy. But tonight, we're seeing him making runs, angles, beating defenders, and good athletic defenders for Austin. So his confidence is high, and he believes in his body again, and it's paying off. And he may just get to that high goal-scoring mark.
He's putting himself in the conversation, at least, for the Golden Boot. And again, it's another situation where I don't think he's going to catch Junior Flemings of Phoenix Rising, who comes into Week 13 with 12 goals to lead the championship. But 8 goals in 13 matches and goals in 6 straight for Luis Solignac. That's an impressive feat nonetheless. And it has SAFC out on their front foot once again, as they've scored for the first time now in 10 of their 13 matches this year.
Well, for players like Solignac and Junior Fleming, you know, being a striker and a goal scorer it's a rhythm you have to get in. It's very streaky. And as many goals as these guys have scored in the first part of this season, you know, they could go 4 or 5 games without a goal. So, but he's playing with such great confidence right now. I think he's going to keep the numbers building.
McFarland running on Blake Smith, overlapping Tomasi. Tomasi, low cross, that's defended out. It'll be a throw for Austin. And Austin will play well on those running crosses. They've had 39 successful ones over the course of the season, a 14 cross advantage over SAFC. Of course, the guy with the ball, Ish Jome, is one of the leader in crosses as he delivers one on frame that Cardoni's got to punch out, and that will set up the first corner of the match as it belongs to Austin.
And Jome shows again how dangerous he is with his long-range shot. He's put himself in that position in previous matches and doesn't hesitate to put it on frame.
Good save by Cardoni as he gets a piece of that ball sent in by the veteranish Jome. Austin will play short. Jome with it back from Guadarrama to that back post and headed back out by the defense. Guadarrama looking to the top of the 6, and Javi Baez went down inside the area. No call. This one comes right back through. And Austin was calling for another corner, but it will belong to Matt Cardoni here.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 consecutive balls in the box that we really didn't do a very good job getting on the end of. Our clearance has got to get better. It's got to have direction. It's got to have distance so that it doesn't become a second or third chance by it being a half clearance.
And the first real moment of sustained pressure from the visitors here tonight as they get a few chances on Matt Cardoni in that situation. And Cardoni, it's just, I don't know, a bit like a bad punt that just sailed off his foot.
Yeah, that can be, didn't get the plant foot right. Or
yeah. Shanked it, so to speak.
Yeah. Or after those last 3 consecutive balls in the box, he says, I need a little bit of a timeout here. And put one out of bounds and give me a chance to catch my breath.
Forbes, too heavy on that touch as he'll concede possession in the throw to SAFC. Yarrow.
Austin's trying to step up and apply pressure on the backs. Problem is, all that does is it opens up the midfield.
Yeah, a little bit higher on their back line, too, as Perusa with a shrug off the tackle of Jermaine Taylor and break free, but met there by Restrepo, who wins the ball.
You know, this is always an interesting change in the chemistry of the team when you've got guys like Dorenzo and Bailone that aren't starting tonight, and you have a young player from an MLS team on loan that MLS team is expecting him to play. Doesn't mean he has to start every game, but he's expecting. That's why he's been loaned this way. So keeping, you know, good professionalism, good attitude, supporting that new guest player, knowing in the end he may help you get on down the road. So.
And Solignac makes a hard challenge as it appeared he might have gotten stepped on by Fabian Garcia, who's shown yellow. Yeah, you see Garcia with the right foot right on the...
Yeah, that's got to be a card because he came in over the ball. Cleats directly down on Solignac's ankle.
Not a tremendous amount of padding right there. You could obviously see the pain that Solignac is in. The yellow on Garcia here in the 37th minute.
Yellow card, Austin Bold FC.
Well, I know the coaches are going to start getting some players up and warming up in case he struggles to continue to go. And I think if there's any doubt, if there's concern about how those cleats damage the ankle, is get him out and get him ready for Saturday. It's one of the benefits of having that extra striker join your team is you've got options and good depth.
As we return to play, here's Jome. Baez flicked along by Beto Avila, a little bit out of the reach of Jome, making the run up the left side. Pirano. And defended out there by Baez. It'll be a throw for San Antonio. Solignac up to his feet. And readjusting shin pads and his socks there, and a little bit of blood perhaps.
And these are tough decisions by the medical staff. You know, you really think about how medical staff in the sport of soccer have got to be able to go out in the middle of the field and almost make the coach's decision as to whether that player can continue or not.
That looked like an elbow that was thrown on the face there of Jose Gallegos. Sonny Guadarrama comes out of the pack. Gallegos down right in front of us. Oh, and it was actually, it looked like more at the end where Guadarrama landed on the back of Gallegos with his cleats too. Not so much as the elbow thrown.
Started to lean into him, use his weight, and then everyone lost balance.
Yeah, you see he kicks him right there with his cleats too.
Yeah, that should be a red card if the referee can determine whether it was by intent.
Yeah, it's only, that's a yellow. I'm guessing that's a yellow
for the assistant.
For Nick Evans, yeah.
I think Coach Marcina had one in the last game.
He did.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tangle up that really you could stay away from yellows until that boot hits his face. And even though the player's on the ground and everyone's trying to regain footing to get back up, it's you have to be careful. You can't just be kicking things.
I don't think Guadarrama is going to be shown anything here out of this. As you see it again.
Yeah, but you know, there's no question that Gallegos was playing him tight on his back. But when you see Guadarrama's arm come up around Gallegos' face, and then they fall, and then the boot, clearly this needed to be disciplined.
Well, the good news is that Jose is up and appears to be okay. He'll rejoin the match momentarily as he now comes back on. Peruzza will just drive this one forward. Certainly some of the physical play has allowed Austin to find some momentum here at the end of the first 45 minutes.
It's a disruption when the game isn't going your way and you have to try and change momentum. To play a team more physically than normal can get your opponent, after being fouled, more focused on arguing with the referee, feeling frustration, forgetting about the good football they had going on. And so it's just part of the tactical aspect of the game. It's not a pretty part. You just hope that cool heads prevail and we get back to good football.
And for a team down only one, they're playing an unbelievably high line here on the road, trying to take advantage of the opportunity that's presented themselves here in the last few minutes of the half.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to take the risk. You know, they know their season is starting to feel like it's on the line every match, trying to get to that second place. So they're going to take risks. They're going to be aggressive. And they're not going to allow San Antonio to build their possession without pressure on it.
McFarland will switch the play. Taylor. Akugo. And Restrepo directing traffic as we approach the end of what's already been a very eventful first 45 minutes here at Toyota Field. SAFC up 1 on Salignac's 8th of the year, scored in the opening minute. That should be a throw for San Antonio. Looks like they're going to give Austin the ball here. Let's see. Maloney will take it over there.
Yeah, this has become a game where you just have to fight for every ball. Every 50-50 is a battle between the two teams. And that's going to lead to physical play because now you're competing, you're locking horns at every moment of the game, trying to find that advantage.
Billy Forbes makes the turn over the top. Tomasi, as he brings it down, cuts it back off his left. Leaves it there, up top, and oh, what a strike, hitting the crossbar. Was Beto Avila, but couldn't just get it inside enough for the equalizing goal.
Great shot, great setup and patience by Austin.
It was actually Guadarrama up top there who had that opportunity. You see Avila was there at the end trying to punch home the rebound, gets called for the foul.
Yeah, you're not gonna knock over the Beard. You know, he's such a big, strong keeper. Give credit to the Austin player for at least going up and challenging. It's showing that they've got a strong desire still to win this game.
He's off. He's off. Fucking off, man.
McFarland.
Up.
Worski didn't really take that one well, and here's Guadarrama on the counter. Avila to his left, Forbes to his right. Slips one to Billy Forbes. Great save by Matt Cardone. Robs Billy Forbes' left foot right there. What a stop from Cardone.
Tremendous save, tremendous. And so brave. I mean, Billy took it so well, too. And first class save.
Second corner coming up here for Austin.
And Forbes did such a great job taking that first touch inside to set up his left. But Cardone save, unbelievable.
As we hit added time, and Ishjome will take the corner from the near stick. 4 minutes added time here at the end of the first half. Flicked along. And a foul inside against Austin, and San Antonio will get the reset here.
I sense that with some of the frustration that's broken out and some of the near fights, we might say, that could have gotten out of hand, just seems like the referees right now blowing a very quick whistle to quiet things, to quiet a moment.
Forbes, a little bit of a salute to his former keeper there. Jome drives this one into the seats across from us. San Antonio with the throw here.
That's such a great moment in sport when your former teammate, when you hit a great shot that should be impossible to stop, and yet your former teammate comes up with a save like that. You can't help but look at each other with mutual respect and enjoy the moment. Of course, Cardone probably enjoyed it more than Billy. It's great to see.
Billy Forbes, part of that 2017 run for San Antonio FC, that the only other time they've advanced to the USL Championship playoffs, ending in the Western Conference semifinals, losing to penalty kicks. With that man, Diego Restrepo, manning things in the net. As this one rides out on the delivery up the touchline.
Yeah, that was a Golden Glove year for him, wasn't it? Top keeper in the league.
It was indeed, and San Antonio FC sporting best overall defense in USL that year. 17-win season, falling in penalties to OKC Energy FC. And trying to get another crack at it here with, at bare minimum, a draw tonight. But right now in the driver's seat, up one here as we approach the end of the first half.
But I'll say that I think Austin has, in the last 20 minutes, helped their game by playing higher and not allowing San Antonio to gain possession and momentum in the opposing half.
Foul on Gallegos on Guadarrama will set up a dangerous set-piece opportunity for the visitors here at the end of the half. Guadarrama hitting the crossbar minutes ago. Billy Forbes taking a world-class strike that had to be parried out by Matt Cardone. As Billy Forbes, Ishjome, and Javi Baez all circle together over the ball. SAFC setting up their wall just inside the 18-yard box. Cardone looks on. And likely to be the final play of the half. Can Austin level things before halftime?
6-man wall, a lot of players in there. The issue that creates for the keeper is he's got to play a little bit more to his right to be able to see the ball. So the wider the wall, the more he has to adjust. And sometimes that leaves more net over the wall.
Forbes, near post, just over goal. Got it over the wall, but just a little too high on the bend for Billy Forbes. And that will indeed be the final play of the half from Toyota Field. Entertaining first 45 minutes, started with a bang. In the opening minute from Luis Zelenak, scoring his 8th goal of the season and goals in 6 consecutive matches for the Argentinian. And he has the home side up 1 here after 45 minutes at Toyota Field. San Antonio and Austin in the 3rd installment of the Central Texas Derby. It's 1-0 San Antonio. Halftime coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. Halftime from Toyota Field, San Antonio FC up 1 over Austin Bold FC thanks to Luis Zelenak's team-leading 8th goal of the season. As we welcome you back upstairs to the broadcast booth with Coach Tim Hankinson, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening. Well, Coach, you wanted to see a fast response from SAFC after Saturday's loss in El Paso. They couldn't have given you a faster response. I guess if Zelenak scored in the first 10 seconds like he did against RGV a couple weeks ago, that might have maybe done it a little bit more quicker for you.
Yeah, a coach is always looking for a reaction after a loss. And so I know Coach Marcian and his staff were probably smiling ear to ear after those first 30 seconds. Brilliant goal.
In the opening minute, tremendous through ball from Christian Pirano right through the defense, finds Zelenak off his right foot. That puts SAFC up 1 in the opening minute. And then the game got a little bit more tighter. It certainly got a lot more physical, Coach.
Yeah, it gets testy. Now, part of that is the rivalry that we've created with Austin up the road. But this is a battle where one team's trying to secure the top spot and the other team is trying to make the playoffs. And so this battle is going to be heated even as we get into the second half.
And then at the end of the half, a little momentum for the visitors. What a take by Billy Forbes, but a better save from Matt Cardoni and Billy Forbes. This is former keeper, a little bit of credit there after making that stop at the end of the first half, and that has San Antonio up a goal after 45 minutes of play. And I think at least what Austin has done here at the end of the half is given something for Alan Marcina and the coaches to work with as they try to see this result through here tonight.
Yeah, I think, there's no question that Austin was caught off guard with that early goal. So they tend to play the next 20 minutes a little bit on their heels. But something changed with about 20 minutes left in the half, and you saw Austin start to play a much higher line, start to defend and pressure in the opposing team's half, and I think that's thrown the possession game of San Antonio and starting to build the confidence back in Austin so that they can get back in this game.
Yeah, and let's, well, you know what? We'll take a break here, take a look at stats on the other side, and we'll also talk a little bit about the upcoming USO Championship playoffs. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but we'll have more on that when we return. San Antonio FC halfway to clinching their second playoff berth in club history and top spot in Group D. They're up 1 over Austin Bold FC here at Toyota Field as we welcome you back up to the broadcast booth with Tim Hankinson. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us. And, Coach, as we look at the highlights from that first half, you wanted to see a fast response for San Antonio FC, and they get one in the opening minute from Luis Solignac.
Yeah, after a loss, coaches are looking for a reaction from the team, and to get one so quickly, so confidently, beautiful shot, the way it was put away, was just a great start for the team.
Austin back on their heels a little bit, but then the game got physical after that, and that certainly played to the visitors' advantage.
Look, the rivalry between Austin and San Antonio, just 50 minutes away, has always been there, and that element will always be there. And we saw it in the frustration of these teams going against each other head-to-head. It's starting to show, and I think we'll see more of that Saturday night.
And Austin using that to get a couple of cracks at it. Billy Forbes, a world-class take. And then a little bit of kudos for his former keeper there, makes a tremendous save. A look at the stats, and you could see a lot of those shots for Austin coming towards the end of the half. And how about that possession, Coach? 64% to the visitors after 45 minutes.
Well, we made mention during the first half of the game against El Paso. We usually average 51%. Against El Paso, only 39. We're seeing a little bit of this happen tonight, and I think it's due to the pressure that Austin's putting on them in their own half.
It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll take a look at playoff scenarios on the other side when we return. San Antonio up 1 here on Fox Sports Southwest. Halftime continues. San Antonio FC up 1 over Austin Bold FC here tonight. Third installment of the I-35 rivalry as we continue from upstairs in the broadcast booth. Well, Coach, let's show the Group D table once again because it's important as we start to look ahead with only 4 matches remaining to the potential USL Cup playoffs. San Antonio FC sitting at the top with 27 and can clinch the group with a point tonight. You see where Austin is, 1 below the playoff line behind FC Tulsa with a game in hand. Here's a look at the USL Championship playoff bracket. And as you see, Group D and Group C are paired together. The winner of each group will play the runner-up in each group. So if San Antonio wins the group, they'll play the runner-up in Group C. So let's look at the Group C table right now. And it looks like it will either be New Mexico or El Paso. El Paso's win on Saturday goes a long way perhaps to them clinching the group.
There's no question, and El Paso's a good team. They proved that. And New Mexico is just as good. So we've got our work cut out for us just to get through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
It'll be certainly interesting. El Paso and New Mexico have 1 more match remaining. San Antonio and Austin also have 1 more match remaining. So a lot of soccer still to be played. Second half coming up on the other side. Tim and I return after this.
I'm okay.
We begin things in the second half. San Antonio FC up 1 over Austin Bold FC. San Antonio FC soccer on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. San Antonio and Austin meeting for the 5th time all-time in USL play. No surprises, a lot of history between these 2 clubs. Former SAFC players finding their way up I-35, including Diego Restrepo, who has played San Antonio in every match since he's been in Austin. Billy Forbes and Sonny Guadarrama have impacted this match tonight. Chris Tierpak, also a member of Austin Bold FC, but he is not playing this year, opting out, choosing to opt out because of COVID issues. So Tierpak will rejoin his mates next season. We'll see whether Guadarrama or Billy Forbes perhaps have an equalizer in them as we begin things in the second half. San Antonio FC 45 minutes away from their 2nd playoff berth in club history. We're informed, by the way, we mentioned Nick Evans got a yellow card in that scrum between Jose Gallegos and Sonny Guadarrama. We also were told that Marcelo Serrano also received a yellow heading to the locker room at the end of the first half. As we get our first substitute of the match, it comes at the start of the second half, and it's the newcomer Javon Watson, who comes on for Austin, just signed yesterday, as he will make his debut with Austin Bold FC. He spent last year playing in Oklahoma City. And San Antonio again in the opening minutes. Zaliniak nearly made it 2 right there as the ball dropped to his feet. And a great save from Diego Restrepo.
Great to see us come out of the locker room and go right back at it. It's unfortunate with the coaches getting cards because bench control is such an important thing. And usually it's players jumping up, debating a call or and it's the coaches who have to settle them. It's just important coaches, remain calm to be a good example for the players.
That one's punched out by Restrepo and then lifted out by the defense on SAFC's first corner of the evening. Coach Tim Hankinson, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us tonight on Fox Sports Southwest. San Antonio FC up 1 over Austin Bold. Penultimate home match of the season. Final home match of the 2020 campaign comes up on Saturday as SAFC will welcome in OKC Energy FC to Toyota Field. Set piece opportunity for San Antonio here as Gallegos and Pirano both over the ball. Obviously you saw Solignac getting that first crack at it, so he's no worse for wear, and it doesn't appear Gallegos is either after the 2 dangerous fouls that happened in the first half. It's Pirano, delivery into the box and headed by Akugo and taken away from Restrepo, but a foul on San Antonio inside the box.
Good challenges. Service was outstanding to get past that first line of defenders, deep enough in the box so we could work to get on the end of it.
It's Hunter Gorski and Jordan Peruzza, both in the vicinity. Gorski called for the foul. Guadarrama, Tomasi. Guadarrama settles out wide, Billy Forbes. McFarland with the overlapping run. And pass Beto Avila.
Come on, boys, come on! A little bit of energy! Hey, stop that, let's go!
This is going to be a corner here for Austin.
You heard the players yelling a little bit of energy. That's something that players have to stay on each other to make sure that the energy, the competitiveness, the fighting for the 50-50s, that maintains throughout the second half. You can't have lapses.
Another short play, Guadarrama back to Baez. A couple times they've run that tonight. Baez lifts it into the box. Blake Smith's over there will drive it away from goal.
Baez is such a good player. He had 154 games for Chivas in Mexico and played for Cruz Azul and Necaxa. Great experience on the field.
Jome. Guadarrama. Tomasi. We'll get on the end of it here. Tomasi cuts it to the outside. Works it right into the box. There's an attempt for Avila that's blocked out. Good setup, though. And Jome will keep it alive for Austin. Looking in Forbes' direction. Billy brings it down. Shoots it off the back of Tainer. Lands to Tomasi. Can't pull the trigger on a shot, though, and Kai Green drives it out. And it's actually off of Beto Avila, and it's going to be a throw for San Antonio.
Dan, you mentioned it before about Billy and Tomasi switching sides. That's what's happened at the beginning of the second half. And if you're the wing defenders having to deal with these, you spend the whole first half trying to figure out Billy, and then all of a sudden, second half comes, and you've got a whole different type of problem to sort out with the moves and the ideas that the new player coming against you brings.
And if you're Blake Smith, you've been dealing with Emma Tomasi for the first half, and now you get Billy Forbes. It's obviously a different look for you.
It is, and it's going to also be very interesting. Again, remember, we're coming off a game just 3 days ago, and Austin is a fresher team. That may have been what we saw in the last 20 minutes of the first half, just legs in better shape to pressure.
That's great setup, and in the back of the net, it's Beto Avila with the equalizing goal, and Austin in the 50th minute has leveled the game at 1 apiece. Tomasi with a setup, and Beto Avila with his second goal of the season. San Antonio FC was looking for the offside flag there, but it stayed down. And Avila levels the game at 1. San Antonio FC is infuriated that the flag stayed down in that situation.
But, you know, you can make a case, was it offside? But the fact is that we had 3 defenders standing there right at the 6 and let their most dangerous positional player run right through us, and nobody tracked. Do not ask the linesman to save your game by raising your hand. Track the player, raise the hand, but track the player.
And a giveaway by Austin. Peruzza, though, as it knocked away from him by Akugo.
Dan, I honestly feel that every time a team looks for the offside call to bail them out, it's showing a weakness, that you aren't willing to track and defend properly. And that to me is just a sign of that it's not good enough. So don't look for the linesman to do it. Track the man and defend properly.
And it was McFarland with the delivery, and there you see Avila indeed in an offside position, but it does not matter in the case as Beto Avila levels things at 1. And Austin coming out once again here, playing off a solid end of the first half. San Antonio FC find their rhythm again. Gallegos can't bring it down cleanly. Taylor. Upfield, Baez. Austin getting ready to make another substitute here momentarily. Tomasi. Gonna shake off Gallegos. And a foul on Ema Tomasi over there on the far side.
Yeah, it looks like Omar Cease. Quick player.
And he's going to take out the goal scorer, Beto Avila, here.
Nothing a defender in the second half likes to see, a quick, fresh player coming in against you. You know, but going back to the goal, Dan, I mean, I'm sorry sometimes the coach has to come out of me, but to me it just was poor decision-making by those 3 backs. You've got to track those players. And when a player runs between 2 defenders, you know, your job as a defender is to protect the shoulder that's in front of you, of your other defender, and to pick that situation up. When you do that, you clear that, there's no goal against, you're still in the lead.
Run down by Yarrow ahead of Billy Forbes. 11th appearance for Omar Sis, who comes on here in the 53rd minute. Guadarrama. Boot came up there from Peruzza. Baez there in the vicinity of the foul on Peruzza. And Austin will go once again. Still maintaining a 64-36 edge in the possession, outshooting SAFC 9-4 here tonight.
You know, I will say that PC is such an important part of our possession game. The comfort on the ball, how we can hold it under pressure, allows other players to get in advanced positions. But, you know, a player, Harivo, you know, who had played so many games alongside PC and is very good at getting on the ball and continuing the possession, which we don't quite have in that type of a role tonight. So it'll get better, but, you know, the other players have got to make up the difference until players can get back on the park.
Connor Maloney. Good ball, finds Jose Gallegos. Good recovery there by Javi Baez. And Jome. And a throw here for San Antonio after it'll go off Baez. Maloney will take it. Pirano, as he goes to ground, SAFC maintains possession. Gorski switching the play over to Tainer. Up the middle there looking for Salignac. Defended away from him, controlled by Omar Sis. First touch of the evening. Looking upfield in Cian McFarland's direction, but played over there on the far side by Blake Smith. Green out wide here on the touchline to Maloney. Maloney gives one right to the top of the box there. Restrepo brings it down, but a good idea over the top there from Maloney looking for Luis Salignac.
And it's good to see Solignac coming off that kicked ankle. Have to keep an eye on his mobility, because even though he may be generally okay, the ankle like that after getting stomped on can...
Pirano, man, he gives San Antonio FC the lead right back with a beautiful individual strike, and SAFC is back up 2-1.
Tremendous shot, Dan. Picking out that far post, getting a little bend to it.
That play was all started by Connor Maloney, who defended the ball off of Austin, trying to make a clearance, and it turns into Pirano's 4th goal of the season. And SAFC has grabbed the lead right back, up 2-1.
Great goal. Great to see Pirano getting back in the scoring column, too.
Pirano with a goal and an assist tonight, 4th goal of the season, 4 assists. And SAFC back up 2-1, just as it seemed like the game was shifting in Austin's direction. Omar Sis. McFarland overlapping Tomasi. McFarland. It's over everybody.
You know, going back to defensive issues and making plays, I'm a little disappointed at Austin. I mean, everyone knows the danger of Pirano. And here he is coming across your box, and nobody ever stepped to put pressure on that and position themselves to block a shot, knowing that that shot is coming.
A giveaway by SAFC. McFarland now running on Smith. Edge of the box. Sam McFarland. It's off of Smith. And a throw coming up here.
But credit to Pirano picking out his corner and hammering. It was just a great ball-struck shot.
There's Watson. Came on at the start of the half for Fabian Garcia. Omar Sis on for Beto Avila. Christian Pirano's goal just moments ago has SAFC up 1 once again. Guadarrama. Green heads it away from danger. Tomasi will come over to take the throw.
You know, Coach Marcin is always talking about grit, the team and players having grit. And I like to use the word resiliency, the ability to get knocked down, bounce back. But San Antonio showed it, giving up the goal as they did minutes before, and then bouncing right back with a brilliant goal.
56th minute for Christian Pirano. A tremendous take off his left foot, and as San Antonio FC back up a goal. And after the handball, Cardoni will get it back upfield. Joan brings it down. Forbes, like he had the boot up there on Kai Green, but we play on. And a giveaway as Austin will take over. Guadarrama upfield. Guadarrama towards that back post. Oh, didn't miss by much there.
No, didn't see the left foot coming.
Sonny Guadarrama has had a strong match here against his former team tonight.
Maybe a little bit more patience by him on that one. He had good numbers around the box.
Joan will track this one down. Run down off the ball by Solignac. We play on. And SAFC concedes possession right back. And Tomasi's upended by Solignac. And the yellow will come up on Solignac. Ooh, he threw the red up there first. But it is only a yellow on Luis Solignac in the 61st minute. Second caution of the season.
Yellow card, San Antonio FC.
Yeah, clear trip and definitely a yellow.
A half hour remaining in the match. SAFC up 1, 2-1. And San Antonio FC, in the last half hour of regulation, not including added time, has not conceded a goal. Can they continue that streak here tonight? They cannot! What a fabulous finish on the far side from Cian McFarlane, who levels the game once again at 2.
What a powerful shot. And I really question, you know, why are we not stepping to these players to put direct pressure on them?
To the near post, McFarlane scores his second of the season here in the 61st minute and leveled once again at 2 apiece.
And you see in that particular case where Smith just backed up, and yet he's got a free defender just off his shoulder. That's time to double him up and force McFarlane in the corner, and don't let him just keep coming towards goal and have a chance to wind up and get that shot off.
As Pirano's upended. Well, Coach, I gave it the old announcer jinx right there.
It happens.
Rides out on Maloney and a throw here for Austin. So Boldwich has outshot SAFC 11-6, but they have really at times controlled what has been the play in the final third here, going back to the late stages of the opening half. And they've cashed in for 2 goals as a giveaway by San Antonio, but they'll get it back. Tainer back upfield. And another turnover. Baez out wide, McFarlane. Like a handball there on Baez, but play on.
Yeah, I know I've already made the point, Dan, but it's worth making again, is that I think San Antonio, when they get in these one-on-one situations, they have an extra free defender in that back three that they can send, which gives the confidence to the first defender who's dealing with the one-on-one player, more confidence to go tight and force that player into a bad position instead of just continuing to back off and back off.
Another great effort for Connor Maloney on Ish Jome. Cross headed away from danger. A take by Akugo. And a goal kick coming up for Matt Cardone. So the equalizer for Beto Avila in the 50th minute. Christian Pirano gives SAFC the lead 6 minutes later. And then moments ago, Cian McFarlane comes right back in the 61st to level things once again at 2 apiece. Setting us up for what should be a very entertaining final half hour tonight.
No question. There are more goals in this game.
Baez out wide. Guadarrama getting forward. McFarlane, most recent goal scorer. Cross swings back, gets through everybody, including Omar Sis. Stepping up, though, is Jome. Takes it away from Peruzza.
Take him on.
That goes off Peruzza. Cardone is able to get under it and bring it down. And quickly looking upfield for Solignac. Met there by Restrepo. Just cheekily flips it along there to Javon Watson.
His ankle looks okay.
Guadarrama. Billy Forbes. Omar Sis. Now it's Tomasi.
Yeah, Tomasi and Baez, these have been the two that have created the most chances for their team this season. One with 24 chances, the other one with 22, not counting tonight.
Forbes flicks it along just wide. I think it's been too easy for Austin here, Coach, in the second half. They have, you know, we talk about this pressure when you have the ball, when you don't have the ball. I think Austin has had way too much time to do what they want to do here over the last few minutes.
Right, and particularly around the box in the vital area where we've given them too much space to run at us. But this can also be, again, the factor that we're coming off a game 3 days ago. And at this point in the match, the players who played that last game against El Paso, and that was a hard match, could be feeling it. And Austin's the fresher team.
Ignacio Bailoni trying to insert some fresh legs here. He started the match in El Paso the other night, but comes on for the final 25 minutes here as he replaces Jordan Peruzza. Peruzza almost scored his first goal at the club in the first half as he hit the woodwork on a tremendous take. And now Bailoni is on trying to give SAFC the lead back. Nearly had a chance right there. Tomasi hooks it behind Kai Green. Yarrow comes over to play it and drives it back forward.
Yeah, I think Peruzzo had a good showing. You know, very active player, confident in his ability to put a ball on frame. He's going to get goals. We'll see him again soon.
Gallegos defended away from him as Jome came over. Again, here's what's at stake. SAFC, even 1 point tonight will clinch both a playoff spot and the #1 spot in Group D. So they still are currently in that position, even though they're level right now with Bold here. And it's, of course, always sweeter when you can clinch your group and do it by way of taking all 3 points, and that's what SAFC is looking for here in the last 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think San Antonio's got to get their possession rhythm going again. It's your park. Let's control it, spread the field out, make Austin do some chasing.
Foul on Austin, and looks like Billy Forbes will be shown yellow here in the 68th minute. Second caution of the season on Billy's. Not happy, as you can see. Set piece opportunity for San Antonio. You could understand why Billy may have an argument there.
Yeah, he seemed to be completely going for the ball, and had contact with the ball. I didn't see a yellow there. Maybe a foul, but not a yellow.
I'm guessing the foul, and I'm guessing maybe something he said after the foul.
That could have
Drawing the
something to do with it. One's mouth often leads to cards.
So Pirano and Gallegos over the ball here. Pirano. As he was going for goal there on the near side with
I think he was.
Restrepo over towards that back post. That ball just sails over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's just setting up one more free kick later, because Restrepo will say he's going to go for goal. I've got to stay on my line. And that's maybe when the serve changes and we get a chance to go up for it and get a header on it. Sometimes you have to condition the opponent to think certain things and then do the other.
Tomasi and Maloney battling for the ball. That's a push on Tomasi and a foul on him. And again, remember, the complexion of this game changed as soon as Austin started to play a little bit more physical at the midway point of the first half. Billy Forbes still arguing here with Elton Garcia. I think
if something happened off the ball, that's what I'm wondering. And the foul by Tomasi is not a intelligent foul. He has Maloney in a situation where he can't play the ball forward. Ball's going to go out of bounds. You're going to lose possession, but there's no reason for a foul there.
And Billy will come off here. Aldo Quintanilla is going to make his Austin debut as Bold uses their final substitution window. Quintanilla signed a couple of weeks ago. His experience in USL play. 22 appearances with RGV. I'm trying to tell Billy he's coming out anyway at this point of the match. He is very heated. So Billy Forbes comes off. Aldo Quintanilla will make his debut here for Austin Bold FC. 5 goals in 22 matches a couple years ago with Rio Grande Valley. And the final substitute used tonight by Austin.
It's tough getting through all your subs in. I mean, I know you need fresh legs, and you're here to win the game. But
and a giveaway, and it nearly turned into a glorious scoring opportunity there for Pirano. Kept alive here by Loney. It's the cross as he keeps it alive. Gallegos settles. Gallegos to the back post. San Antonio FC back once again with the lead up 3-2.
What a great goal. Keeper couldn't see it. Restrepo had too many defenders in front of him. He played it right through it. Didn't see it until it was too late. Great goal.
Bailoni with a tremendous job to keep that ball not only in play, but to get it beautifully across where Gallegos was able to settle and beats Restrepo. And San Antonio FC, with another response, is up 3-2.
That's a great example for young players. Shoot through the crowd. You don't always need a clear look at the net. Is shoot through the crowd and good things can happen. Deflections and not allowing to keep it the time he needs to see it and make the play on it. Great goal.
That is the 13th goal of the series between these clubs. San Antonio with 8 of them to Austin's 5 here. And there still might be more.
Dan, I don't think it's over. I think we are going to see a couple more goals.
72nd minute for Gallegos as he gets his second of the year. SAFC has never trailed in the match since they went up 1 on the goal early by Solignac in the opening minute. Pirano with a response on Avila's goal. And now Gallegos the response on Cian McFarland's equalizer. Now it's Ish Jome in possession. Tomasi. Sis. Out wide, McFarland. Dangerous as he plays it towards the back post. Headed away there by Kai Green. Hands to Pirano.
Very well placed cross.
It's off of Jome. It'll be a throw here for San Antonio FC.
I'm still on that cross. I'm watching the line of defenders, and we've got plenty of bodies, more than they do in the box. But they're playing very zonally, and it doesn't seem like anyone's putting a body on a body. So whether that's the way they're being taught, where Coach Marcino wants them to play more of a zonal approach, but I think once you get in the box there, you've got to tighten up the man marking.
Maloney concedes. Baez off to McFarland. Corner of the box. Guadarrama back to McFarland as he runs on Blake Smith. And now Gorski collapsing on him. And well done there by Smith. Strips McFarland of the ball, boots it back upfield. And then Javon walks in with a giveaway as he loses his footing. Restrepo caught in no man's land, and oh! Just missing was Solignac with a deep ball from almost the middle of the park.
Some exciting football tonight. It's fun to watch.
Remember, he almost did this a couple weeks ago against Kyle Line of Oak City. Oh man, he did not miss that by very much. Gallegos takes it away from Jome. And then dispossessed by Sis on the near side. Tomasi, good tackle by Maloney. Conceded, however, by Gorski. Aldo Quintanilla, first touch. Sis with the turn. Out wide, McFarland. Get on the end of this over at the far touch. Another cross to the back post. This one will sail over Omar Sis. Gonna run it down, however, and keep it alive for Ish Jome. Cross flicked out by Tainer off of Blake Smith. Will just turn it back upfield.
Well played defensively, but I'm a little bit disappointed in the attacking players for Austin. They just stood and watched the cross and nobody making a run into the box. And that starts to make me question if they lost their desire or belief that they can tie this game back up. They're not going after opportunities like that.
Guadarrama shown yellow for a foul on Pirano here in the 76th minute. We'll have a hydration break here. See what happened with Guadarrama and Pirano.
See, you know, the initial contact is just a body tackle. Both players feel that. Nothing too intentional with it. But if you noticed, his hand strikes across Pirano's face. It's that follow-up, and we saw the same thing on Gallegos with Guadarrama and that little kick after they're down on the ground. So he's got these follow-up fouls that are a little bit off the ball once the initial foul takes place. And that's going to lead to a red card. It's just not very good football.
It's a busy Wednesday night across the rest of the championship. We'll take a look at scores here from what else is going on. Tampa Bay, remember, they're in the mix for top spot there in USL. They get a win tonight at Atlanta United 2. El Paso Locomotive up 2 over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC at home. Later tonight, Reno and Tacoma will get together. Reno is 3 points back of San Antonio FC in the Western Conference.
3 points by El Paso tonight suddenly puts them very tight in that race in Group C with New Mexico.
Yeah, coming in just a couple of points back. They would leapfrog New Mexico. That Reno-Tacoma match is tomorrow night, actually, just to clarify. But yeah, that would be the game in hand right there for Locomotive. And if they hang on for the final quarter hour there, they go up 1 on New Mexico for the top spot in Group C. New Mexico then slides into the position that would face San Antonio FC. But again, New Mexico and El Paso will meet one more time next weekend in the second to last match of the season for both sides. So be interesting as we pay attention down the stretch.
It is, and nothing is set yet as far as who's going to be the number 1 or 2 in the Group C as to who we play. But if El Paso does get the number 1 spot, and let's say we can beat New Mexico in that first round, then we're probably back against El Paso in the second round. So
Substitution for Austin.
Austin making one more substitution. And I should clarify, because Javon Watson came on at halftime, that halftime window does not count as one of the 3 windows. So that allows Austin to make another substitution, and they will use their allotted 5 here as Atez Diaf comes on. And so too does Josue Soto here in the 79th minute.
And Diaf is a dangerous attacking player. He's also a lot like Billy Forbes in that regard.
So again, Javon Watson, who came on at halftime, that window does not count in the allotted 3 windows. So Diaf and Josue Soto on here for the last quarter hour. Tomasi. Baez. He gives it a go over Matt Cardoni's net. Cardoni's had a busy night, which has not been pretty typical here at Toyota Field, but on a night where Austin, with a 66-34 edge in the possession through 80 minutes, and out shooting San Antonio 14-9 to this point. They've certainly made the keeper work.
Well, and Dan, I think the other thing that is very important to watch is, you know, in El Paso, we gave up that extra time own goal, but we let the game slip away and points slip away at that point. We're not in position to lose this game tonight with the lead, but there have been 2 other times this year where in that 90-plus minute where we have not managed the final ability to close out the game. And so I think this is a great test after El Paso to say, we've got the lead, you know, you've got 10, 15 minutes left. How are we going to play the game, and can we close it out cleanly?
We'll see how SAFC plays the final 10 minutes here tonight. Up 1, 3-2 over Austin Bold FC. Which would be a critical defeat for Austin. They'd be even in games with FC Tulsa and one back still of FC Tulsa. San Antonio will meet both sides in the last 2 matches of the season, at Tulsa and then at Austin. Tomasi. Akugo off of Bailoni. Gallegos hooks it along. Pirano held up for a moment from behind there, able to break free. Christian Pirano. And a good challenge there from Javon Watson. Pirano is down just outside the box. Meanwhile, here's Austin on the counter. Baez. And now they'll blow the play dead. And it's been another hard night for Christian Pirano, where he's been on the end of some tough fouls here, Coach. And then,
well, again, he's, as we've said this before in previous games, he's the most fouled player on the team. And when you're running a goal like that and you keep the ball, you know, his dribbling style, he keeps the ball very close to his feet, the ball doesn't get out in front of him, then defenders' jobs are to take you down at that point, to make the tackles, and there's going to be contact. One of the things that young players like him are going to need to learn over time is that when to release the ball, so that defenders can't get direct hits on you that subject you to injury. So, you know, picking that time to keep it and go one-on-one versus the time where you're drawing defenders and they're aggressively running at you, and you recognize that they're going to come in and slide and look to release that pass to a teammate.
and Pirano's night will come to an end as Gonzalo Lorenzo, it appears, will come on for these closing minutes. What a night for Christian Pirano. A goal and an assist. A tremendous goal in the 56th minute that gave SAFC a 2-1 lead. And his assist was to Luis Solignac that led off the scoring in the opening minute of what's been a 5-goal evening between these two sides as Lorenzo comes on, making his 13th appearance of the season.
Well, it just goes to show, you know, we've talked about managing legs and can you save some players on a Wednesday knowing you've got another game Saturday. But I'll tell you, if you save Solignac on a night like tonight or Pirano on a night like tonight, you're probably down a goal at this point. So all of the key pieces need to be on the field if you expect to win the games.
4 goals in the second half after Solignac's goal in the opening minute was the only goal in the first half. Restrepo. Baez. McFarland upfield. Good touch as he finds Atez Diop. Tried to strike it with his right foot, blocked and cleared up into the seats there by Gallegos. Rejoining the play there was Baez. Diop comes back on the ball out wide. Cian McFarland. Taylor switched the play across. Josue Soto. Worski couldn't push it past the line of Soto. Akugo.
You can see where almost everyone for Austin is up except the two center backs. Means they're open to a counterattack if we can gain possession and push players forward quickly.
And that'll be a foul on McFarland. With stoppage time, be about 10 minutes or so remaining for San Antonio FC. Gallegos' goal in the 72nd minute, right now the difference. And really 2 key plays tonight on SAFC's 2 second-half goals. The one by Christian Pirano that was set up by a great defensive effort from Connor Maloney after Ish Jome tried to play it out. Maloney blocked that attempt. It landed at Pirano, and he was able to work his magic. And then Bailoni, on a ball that seemed to be trailing out in the far corner, was kept alive. And that set up Gallegos' goal, rather, that has SAFC in the lead.
Yeah, and of course the first one, that was the brilliant channel pass by Pirano to Solignac. That's just classic stuff. I mean, I think that we can say tonight our offensive game, our efficiency, not that we've created a ton of chances, but our efficiency around the box has been brilliant. I think defensively there are some things tonight that we have to clean up in our marking and tracking and the decisions at the back. And also just the one-on-one defending, knowing if you've got help, that communication.
Uh-oh, as Cardoni was able to get back on that one after Dioff came running with a full head of steam.
I was saying that the communication between two defenders so that we can go tighter and shut down some of these one-on-one situations so they don't become dangerous. If we do that, then defensively we'll be back to clean sheets, I believe.
Lorenzo keeps that alive and just missing Solignac and a free header in the box. Quintanilla, Soto, Tomasi. Quintanilla makes the turn. Well defended there by Kai Green, however lands back to Soto. Slide his way through, and he got it through there to Quintanilla. Out wide, Dioff, well played. McFarland cutting it back here to his left, cross into the box. He was looking for Dioff, and it was headed away by Yarrow. Lands to Sis. Soto plays it towards that back post, but past Dioff and out of play as it rides out. And SAFC will use their final substitution window to put Hayden Partain in, as he'll come on here for Jose Gallegos.
It was a great build-up by Austin. Quick combinations and slipping the ball, and we're fighting to get the tackle done, but they'll just nip it past you at the last second. Just a bad final pass there, but Austin's played well tonight and possessed and attacked much better than I've seen them in the past.
Gallegos, his second goal of the season, right now stands as the potential winner and potential playoff clincher for SAFC as Hayden Partain comes on for the 6th time this season. As Gallegos salutes the fans.
We've missed that this season. Eh?
Certainly have. Getting back to your point about trying to clean things up defensively, the good news for SAFC is that their next 2 matches are against 2 sides that struggle to score in OKC and Tulsa, particularly OKC, which has had a miserable campaign in terms of attack. They have just 8 total goals on the season.
Yeah, I mean, as a well, here we go.
Solignac getting free. Lorenzo to his left. Solignac, well defended there, coming back.
I'd like to see his mileage tonight. He has worked and made not just 5, 10-yard runs. I mean, he's put in 20, 30, 40-yard runs tonight. Great effort.
Maloney makes the throw by Loney. Again, well done to keep it in play. Lorenzo brings it down. Trying to open up here just outside the box. Now flips it along. Can Blake Smith get on the end of it? He can. His cross, though, is defended away. As Austin will go back out into the attack here. And McFarland couldn't make the run back up on that far side.
So, you know, this is a crucial time. This is where leadership, being a captain, your senior players, have got to look at this moment and say, all right, let's gain the possession off of this. Let's keep it. If another goal comes, that's fine. We'll look for that. But right now, let's concentrate on getting our possession game going so that we don't give anything away.
Okay, next one. Hey, get back!
Tomasi with the throw. 5 minutes of added time here in the second half.
5 minutes of added time in the second half.
This is where track your men, watch the numbers around the box. Don't switch off on the cross.
Dioff. Akugo couldn't do anything with it. It had his back to the goal. Smith drives it forward. Restrepo over to claim it.
That's good. I'm glad that San Antonio pushes their team up. Get the game played in the middle of the field or their half. Don't be playing the game around your box.
Tomasi, corner of the box. Baez couldn't send that cross through. We play on as Tomasi goes to the ground. Dorenzo to Bailoni, back to Dorenzo. Restrepo's got to get back in the net. Dorenzo has Salignac. Oh, great defensive effort there. Saving perhaps the capping goal by Josue Soto. But it does set up a corner for SAFC.
Yeah, it was a great effort to get the leg out there to stop that pass. Otherwise, that is goal number 4.
And Hayden Partain will head over to the far stick.
And you can see the positional posturing by San Antonio is only pushing up 3-4 players into the box when usually you'd have 7. They've got 5 guys back, making sure that nothing comes in a counterattack against them. Just secure the points, secure the final 5 minutes of the game.
They have the ball, and now won't be cheap with it, although they'll give Austin a possession here with still 3 minutes or so remaining.
And now you ask every player to stay compact, be connected to each other, don't give them gaps. Any kind of an entry pass, let's put a challenge on. And when you win it, switch it and get your possession going.
Another throw here for San Antonio as we're halfway through the allotted 5 minutes of stoppage time. And San Antonio FC can certainly taste it at this point. The result was all they needed to clinch the playoff berth and clinch the group, but as I said, it tastes a lot sweeter when you can do it with a victory.
And I would expect Austin to start launching longer service, find quicker ways to get to the San Antonio goal.
Baez, McFarland out wide. It's defended out by Tainer. Baez settles. Back out to McFarland. You hear no foul. Cross across, lands to Dioff, brings it down. Get all of it though with the right foot, and then it slides past to Kugo.
San Antonio defenders getting tighter in the mark, showing more urgency. I hear the shouting, the communication. Again, making sure no one gets switched off.
Garcia telling Matt Cardone to continue to play as he milks this clock for all it's worth here.
There's the longer service I was talking about. Just trying to find space behind the defense.
Dioff. Soto towards that back post. Good ball as it landed perfectly down to Akugo. Just couldn't get a head on it as it was well played inside.
Looking like maybe one more chance for them.
Baez, Tomasi makes the turn. Flips it in. And Yaro defends out, but it'll go out for a corner. 4th one of the night coming up for Austin, and likely their last gasp here.
Yeah, everyone flooding the box. Restrepo pushing his last final defender at the top of the box. Get everyone in.
At the death, flicked along, cleared out. Soto brings it down. Back out wide. Headed out by SAFC. For the first time since 2017, San Antonio FC will play for the USL Cup. They are the first team in the Western Conference to clinch a playoff berth, They are the first side in USL to win their group. And Matt Cardoni and company is headed to the USL Championship playoffs. Congratulations to Alan Marcina and San Antonio FC. They are in the postseason for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job leading up to this moment, particularly coming back to get the victory tonight and 3 outstanding goals after the El Paso game. But, you know, the work doesn't stop here. It's great to know that you're in the playoffs. You can manage things slightly differently, but you've got to keep momentum. You've got to keep working on the things that maybe need tweaking, and you've got to get that home field advantage in the Western Conference. You do that, then you're ready to hit the playoffs running.
San Antonio now 2-0-1 in 3 matches this season against Austin. One more coming up. Final match of the season. This week continues along though for SAFC. It's the regular season home finale. Saturday night they'll take on OKC Energy FC. Tim and I have the call with you right here on Fox Sports Southwest beginning at 8. Now for Tim Hankinson, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. Your final, San Antonio FC 3, Austin Bold FC 2, SAFC headed to the USL playoffs. This has been a presentation of the USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody. Thanks, Tim.